Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, She Plans, She Budgets. In today's video, we'll be going over my weekly check-in number 3, so let's get started. All right, so we're opened up to my calendar view for January. We are checking in from the 14th through the 20th because I like to check in from Sunday through Saturday. All right, and then we also have here on the right hand side my key legend where I keep track of my 6 cash envelopes and my sinking funds plus unbudgeted. But just to go over my cash envelopes, which are technically cashless, the first category is gasoline, followed by groceries, household spending, eating out, and entertainment. And again, those are cashless because I do swipe my credit card for both the cash envelopes and sinking funds, just so that I can earn some credit card rewards and trade it in for direct deposits into my main checkings account. All right, so I have my stickers right here with the expenses already written down, along with my no spend sticker. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Just to quickly mention, I do like to link down below in the description box 3 sticker shops that I enjoy purchasing from, because I don't currently have my own sticker shop, so I do support 3 other shops in the description box. If you're interested in any of the stickers that you see here, those 3 sticker shops make the same or similar stickers that you may see if you're interested in budgeting with stickers. All right, so let's go ahead and lay these down. If you caught my last video, which was week 2, I did let you guys know as a heads up that week 3 is going to look a little garbage, but we're just going to go ahead and roll with it. And I mentioned that for these 2 unbudgeted expenses, I was going to include them in the weekly balance for week number 3. So when I do the math, you'll see that I'll also include these 2 numbers just because of how my transfers worked out, and also because I did pay the unbudgeted expenses with some of the money from paycheck number 3, so that's why I waited. All right, so let's go ahead and list these down, or lay these down because what am I talking about? So I had quite a few transactions on the 14th, mostly unbudgeted. I'm trying to see. Okay, these was from the 14th. All right, and then the rest of these are later in the week. So I just wanted to gauge really quickly if they will all fit. All right, so I'm just going to go back and forth. So starting with unbudgeted. So one of the unbudgeted expenses was for parking at the airport for 2 days. We left on Saturday the 13th and returned on Sunday the 14th. So it's for 2 days, $33.22 at the airport parking lot, or for the airport parking lot. And it was really convenient that they pick you up, like the shuttles pick you up at your parking spot to take you to the airport, like your terminal. And maybe I haven't flown in a little while, but I just thought that was super convenient that they picked you up from your parking spot, so you didn't have to walk to a local shuttle pickup location. They picked you up from your car, basically. So I just thought that was super convenient and worth the price. Also, we had one expense technically from the Cheesecake Factory. This is after we came back home from our flight to the East Coast to New Jersey. We treated ourselves to the Cheesecake Factory. It was a total of $128.97 because we did do, tip. So we did break that up between our eating out fund for $48.43 and our entertainment fund for $80.54. So that expense almost became unbudgeted, but I decided to pull from those 2 categories since those are like our fun categories, and also eating out didn't have, the full $128 in there. So I took the rest out of entertainment just to break it up a little. So let me go ahead and lay one of these down. And I'm just trying to break up the colors here, and I'm going to add another unbudgeted expense. This one was miscellaneous for $7.32. So it was for a couple of things. So $7.32 under miscellaneous for unbudgeted. So I'm just going to lay that down next because that was also on the 14th. Then eating out for Cheesecake Factory, $48.43. Just wanted to get that right. And then the last unbudgeted was for breakfast at the hotel for $20.79. So we just grabbed some food before we left because we had just missed the shuttle when we came down to check out. So we had about a 30-minute wait, so we just decided to grab breakfast at the hotel since we had some time to kill. So that was for $20.79. So that filled up all of Sunday. Moving on to Monday, I had a self-care transaction for $11.13. And when we go to the back of my planner, or not the back, but like, you know, in the other spreads, we'll see what I spent that on in my sinking fund spread. So from self-care, $11.13. Also on the 15th, I had ordered some groceries for $226.49. So I had to really stock up on some things because I did wait till we came back from our trip to New Jersey, because the last time I went shopping was on the 7th of January. So on the 15th, we was out of pretty much everything, and I didn't want to grocery shop right before we left, so I waited till we came back. So $226.49 was spent out of groceries at HEB. And then on the 17th, for lunch at work, I went back to Popeyes, spent $7.88 for my personal spending. And then once again, I initially had planned to eat somewhere else, and then I ended up going back to Popeyes on the 18th and spent $12.11. So y'all see that I clearly have a problem. And we'll also see when we do the check-in portion to calculate all the numbers. Whew, I'm a little scared. All right, so that was it for my personal spending in this nice purple lavender color. On the 19th, I spent from the self-care category along with the health and wellness category, and that totaled $85.05. And I think I just said the 19th. All right, and then lastly, I filled up on gas earlier today on the 20th for $39.70. And something weird occurred, like nothing major, but like normally when I pay for gas, I would at least see the transaction pending. It might not be for the full amount. It usually pins for like $1, and then once it posts, it'll be for the exact amount that I pumped for. For some reason, it's not pending on my credit card, and I'm not sure why. This did happen one other time last February when it froze over here in Texas. I guess from losing power, you know, the transaction might not have went through. So I actually wasn't filming at that time, so you guys wouldn't know that. So February of last year, I had pumped for gas 1 week, and it was the week that we lost power here in Texas, and everything like froze over. Meanwhile, it was only like 40 degrees, so it was kind of a shock, but we lost power, things froze, the trees fell over. Like, it was kind of crazy how that happened, because 40 degrees is not freezing. But anyways, so basically I pumped gas, didn't get charged for it, didn't, you know, spend the money thinking maybe it's just delayed because of the power outage. They'll eventually figure it out and then take it out. And now it's January 2024, been a whole year, that money never came out. And of course I spent it by now on something else. So I'm not sure if that's happening again. It is cold down here right now. There wasn't power outage, but my apartment complex didn't get affected. Like other sections of Austin did experience a power outage. I think my lights like flickered or like went off literally, I want to say for 3 minutes and came back on. It might even been less than that. It was so fast, because right when I was about to, you know, cry, my lights turned right back on. So it could have been less than a minute, because sometimes I exaggerate because I can't stand a power outage. Because honestly, in New Jersey, I didn't have those problems because a lot of our power was underground. So I haven't had a blackout like before moving to Texas in years. Like maybe when I was a little child. Like that's why I'm just like, what is this? What is the blackout? So so basically that did occur um not even today. That occurred like maybe a few days ago, earlier in the week. So I don't know if they're having issues or whatever, but it's not even pending. It might just be, you know, not pending because of delay or something. So I'm going to hold off on doing a transfer for the $39.70 just because I don't want to overpay my credit card, because then it's going to show that, you know, the credit card company owes me money and I rather owe them money, if you get what I'm saying. So when I do my transfer towards the end of this video, I'm not going to include the $39.70 because it's not even pending to show that I even went to the gas station. I do have a receipt, so I did pay for it. It did go through. I have a whole receipt. I normally always get a receipt for gas just so I don't have to remember the exact amount, because again, it normally pins for $1 and then when it posts it shows the actual amount. So because it's not even pending, I just don't want to include it in my transfer and then it never gets charged. So that's why when we do the math, I'm not going to include that. But I'm still marking it just in case it does come out. So my account balance is going to have one number, but the real number will be a little bit more because I'm not going to transfer that. So hopefully all of that made sense. And just double checking, I laid everything down. So now let's go ahead and include my no spend days. And it looks like I only have one this week. And I just feel like I'm doing a really bad job at my no spend days for this month. I feel like I should have joined one of those January no spend challenges. I didn't want to initially because I'm just like, I'm not going to be able to not spend anything. But I didn't think I was going to be doing this bad. So good thing I didn't do the challenge because I would have felt like a failure. But at the same time, it's like, I'm going to have to do one for February because I only have 4 days out of 20. Like, that's terrible. But yeah, so far January is looking a little bad because I'm definitely overspending. I would say it's mostly to poor planning. When I do my grocery shop, I'm not really purchasing things for meals to like go with my meal planning for the week. I'm kind of just buying whatever we want and then being lazy, not cooking breakfast in the morning, so we buy breakfast before work, or not packing lunch, so we buy lunch at work. So I'm just doing really bad, and there's no excuse. It's just laziness and poor planning and just mismanagement of money. So you'll see that in a second when we do these calculations. And I still have a whole week and a half left in the month, so I gotta make some changes, and I definitely have to implement those changes and continue them for the month of February to kind of like regroup or recuperate what we spent in the month of January, because January is looking bad. All right, that's enough rambling. So all of the expenses are laid down. The only bills that were due this week were for iTunes and HBO Max for $35.70. And that was paid on the credit card. So we'll need to calculate that in our calculations later on. So let me go ahead and flip to the monthly budget. Normally we would write in whatever bill came out, but since the HBO Max and iTunes is part of the subscriptions, I'm going to wait till the very end of the month because I have 2 more subscriptions due towards the end of the month, and I want to just factor all of that together. So we'll save this for the end. For electricity, I do have this actual bill number, which is going to be $181.75. But again, I'm just going to write that down towards the end of the month, just when it actually comes out. And that's like way more than what I was budgeting for, which is technically my fault, because I did notice in my yearly bill tracker in the back of my planner, which I can just flip to real quick actually. I did notice that February was higher than expected for last year, so I should have just budgeted more for January. My January number got lost because this is when I went between my Happy Planner and Erin Condren monthly planner. I don't know how I lost those numbers because I was able to find February, but I had switched to my old planner in March of last year. So I don't know what happened to January's numbers, but they're gone. And I was only able to assume the rest of these were the same just because of how December of 2022 looked and the numbers for February of 2023 look. So I was able to assume these, and you know, the rent stays the same until you renew your lease. So I was able to assume everything else, but lost the numbers for these two. So but I should have just planned more because I knew that February was higher just because of the, you know, the winter season. So poor planning on my part all around for bills, cash envelopes, just everything. So this week really opened my eyes that I can't be too laxed in my budget because things can get away from me and I end up paying for it literally. So yeah, so nothing to mark here, but I do want to mark that I will be or not I will be, I did already. I did move some money from paycheck 3. I believe I mentioned that earlier, either in my last video or earlier in this video. So basically I moved money from paycheck number 3 that came on the 17th. So I'm gonna just add December rollover, which was the $126.32, plus paycheck number 3. And for that, paycheck number 3 is going to take care of the unbudgeted. So the number is $156, but I just wanted to do the math with you really quick. So $37.42 for these two numbers, plus the $57.25, plus the $20.79, plus the $7.32, plus the $33.22 for parking, equals the $156. So I just wanted to show you how I got to that total because we transferred $156 from paycheck 3 to the main budget just to take care of the unbudgeted. And I'm going to wait till the end of the month to write in the unbudgeted just in case there's any more. Fingers crossed there won't be, because I'm telling you the budget is blown. But I'm going to just keep track of it here, and then I'm going to also write in the additional $156 here as well. But I just don't want to write it now in case I need to white it out, add money from paycheck 4, because that is the last paycheck we're expecting from this month on the 31st, because this is a magic month for us. So yeah, so I just wanted to write plus paycheck number 3 so I remember to add in some money from this number in the actuals. Whew, I just feel like I'm rambling so much. All right, so now this is the expense log where I keep track of all of my expenses from my cash envelopes, including the unbudgeted. And starting right here is where week 3 begins with the Cheesecake Factory. And I did go ahead and check all this off because I did mention in my last video that my credit card was looking really crazy, and I was trying to figure out all the numbers because I had receipts for some stuff and other stuff I didn't have a receipt, and I had to just go off of what the credit card statement said. And you know, when things pinned and post later, you got to remember the dates, So I've been doing my best to keep track of it, and just so I didn't get confused, I was just making transfers and checking it off. But we will still do a transfer. I mean, not a transfer. We will still calculate what I transferred to verify that, you know, all expenses were accounted for, and basically how I did what I did. The only thing I did include, again, was the gasoline because it's not showing as pending. I don't know why, but I don't want to risk paying for it and I don't get charged, if you get what I'm saying. Because I don't want the credit card to owe me money, if that makes sense. And I believe they would refund the money, but I don't want to go through their 10 business day process and blah, blah, blah. I just owe the $40 and I'll just pay them when I see it, basically. All right. Okay. So now we are at the weekly check-in. So let me zoom you all in. All right. So starting off with gasoline, we're going to just write the numbers in. But again, I didn't actually transfer this money, so I'll give you the total of what's actually in my account versus what it should say. So minus the $39.70 And I have my calculator. All right, so $39.70. I started off with $121.68 from week 2 minus the $39.70. So when I do pay off the gas, I should have $81.98 remaining. All right, so for groceries, I don't know what I was about to say. For groceries, I spent a total of $226.49. Just so you know, for gas, I'm not going to check it off here. If you can see that, I'm not going to check it off here just because I'm not paying for it now. So that will remind me to make that payment along with not checking it off here. Okay. So for groceries, $226.49 was the total that I spent. $226.49. And what I had last week, or for week 2, was $285 with 10 cents. And as you can see in a second, this is where I realized I effed up. I effed up the budget for this month. So $285.10 minus $226.49 equals $58.61 remaining for groceries. And I still have, today's the 20th, so I still have 11 days in a month, and I definitely will need more groceries within those next 10-11 days. So yeah, we'll see what week 4 and week 5 looks like. But it's looking like it's going to be bad. For household, I didn't spend out of that category this week, so nothing there. And I'm just going to check off the groceries. So nothing out of household, thankfully, so I could put that money towards groceries and hopefully stay within that budget. So household still has $88.37. So $88.37. All right, personal spending. So I spent $7.88 plus $12.11 from Popeyes. So that was a total of $19.99. So I'm going to check that off. So minus $19.99, and as you can see from week 2, I only had $13.62 remaining. So I am negative by $6.37, which isn't a lot, but it's still negative. So I just got to make sure that I'm able to cover all the red by the end of the month so that I'm not over budget and have to pull money from future paychecks, because I can't touch my savings. I just can't. And I do not want to carry a balance on my credit card, but we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for my future check-ins and my budget closeout video. So next, for eating out, we just had the one expense, which was for the Cheesecake Factory of $48.43. And that is negative as well. So minus $48.43. So in week 2, I had $33.15 for eating out. This week I spent $48.43. So that means I'm over by $15.28. So 15 with 28 cents. And did I smear that? Yes. Whew. Alrighty. Next, for entertainment, which right here, which is the other portion of the Cheesecake Factory, for $80.54. So that was all that was left over, $80.54. So minus $80.54. So this is now 0. And I guess I could have crossed it out, but whatever. All right, unbudgeted. So we unfortunately added more to that. So the $20.79 plus the $7.32 plus the $33.22 equals $61.33. So that is the unbudgeted. So I'm going to go ahead and check those off, including the ones from the 13th, because all of that was paid for through the transfer from paycheck number 3. And again, that totaled $156. And we will include that in the weekly balance so that the numbers make sense. And I'm just making sure I didn't have any other unbudgeted, and I didn't. So that is, so we did calculate that 61.33 because I just wanted to make sure I had that separation. So 61.33. So the 61.33 plus the 94.67 is the $156. So okay, just wanted to make sure that made sense. So 156. All right, so I warned y'all in my last video that week 3 was going to look a little crazy, and it does. So we're pretty much good with gas. $81.98. Today is the 20th, so I might only need to do 1, maybe 2 more fill-ups by the end of the week. I mean, not the end of the week, end of the month. And we do average about $40 each fill up, so that's pretty much good. Groceries is going to be so red, and I just hope it's not like too bad, but groceries is going to be red. I'm going to try to make sure that household isn't red, but groceries for sure is going to be red. Spending is red, eating out is red, entertainment is 0, unbudgeted. Whew. So let me just go ahead and open this up real quick. All right, I just wanted to open this up really quick because I wanted us to flip back to the calendar view, because since those categories are basically overspent or used up, I need to go ahead and check off or cross off spending. So I have no more personal spending for this month. There's no more eating out since we went over. And then entertainment, there's no more of that because that was all used up as well. I would love to cross off unbudgeted, but I just want to stay realistic for these last 10, 11 days. And then also for groceries. So we'll see if we need to cross more stuff off in week 4, most likely. But we'll just see how everything turns out. But spending, eating out, and entertainment are for sure done for the rest of this month. All right, so the last 2 things to check in for is my sinking funds. So I'm going to cross them off here, check them off, because everything was transferred for this week already. And we're skipping over gasoline, and we'll just look at those transactions really quick. And they are these 3 right here. So self-care on the 15th, I spent $11.13 and purchased some feminine wash. From self-care on the 19th for $14.05, we bought some crocodile wipes from the Home Depot. They're like just some longer and thicker, like a rougher texture wipes that's really good to clean your hands. Like if you do if your hands get really dirty. Because of my boyfriend's job, he gets pretty filthy, so he has those wipes so that he can clean himself off like while he's out at work. And then for health and wellness on the 19th, we spent $71 on Amazon to buy more vitamins. Okay, so now for the weekly balance. This weekly balance is referring to our checking account number 1, where it holds our bill money, cash envelopes, and miscellaneous. And miscellaneous mostly consists of sinking funds, but it will hold the unbudgeted and the anything else. So basically anything that's included in this category right here. So again, sinking funds, budgeted, we didn't plan anything, but we have something to write down now. And then this wedding gift for $126.32 was taken out in week 2, if you caught my last video. All right, so starting off with bills for the weekly balance, we know that the only bills that came out was HBO Max and iTunes, and that was for $35.70. So we're going to go ahead and subtract that here. So $35.70. And I'm just going to get the totals across as I go along. So 198.78 minus 35.70 is $163.08, remaining towards bill money. And we know that I have quite a few bills due to still come out, which is the electricity bill for $181.75 and my Rapid API plus the dictionary for $3. And that's obviously more than this $163.08. So we're gonna have to make some magic happen by the end of this month. We have one more paycheck due on the 31st, so we'll just see what needs to come out of that, if anything, and we'll just see how these numbers work out by the end of the month. Because again, we are saving for a car, and I would like for our savings goals to be met, but we will make sure that we're not carrying debt into February, at least. Well, I prefer none, but hopefully very, very little, if anything. All right, next for cash envelopes, we need to just go ahead and add this up. So I'm going to add the number for gasoline. I've decided because it'll most likely come out. I don't know if there was an issue with their machines because it gave me a receipt and everything. So I don't know why it's not pending. Maybe it's just because it's the weekend or something. I don't know. But it normally always pins, so I noticed that. So let me just go ahead and total that up with the gasoline. But I'll just show you the two numbers of what's actually in my account versus what's supposed to be in my account. So $39.70 plus the $226.49 plus the $19.99 plus the $48.43 plus the $80.54 and plus the 61. No, not the 61. I need to add 156. Because we're doing the 61.35, or sorry, the 61.33 plus the 94.67 from last week. Those were the two transactions that was up here that we are going to include in week 3, just because that's when we actually paid for it, because it came out of paycheck number 3. All right, so plus 156, so that totals. Oh, you know what? I'm just joking. We're going to add the 156 in the miscellaneous. So let me just take that out. So after the 80.54, after entertainment, the total is $415.15. That's what's being subtracted from cash envelopes. My bad, y'all. So $415.15. Okay. Subtracted from what we started off with, $622.46. Equals 207 with 31 cents. And let's verify if that's true. So if we take the 81.98 plus 58.61 plus the 88.37 equals 228.96 minus the 637 minus the 1528. Yep, so 207.31. So basically what it looks like is the red was taken out of these numbers, but all of that's going to get reconciled by the end of the month because we may need to pull in some more money from paycheck 4, because paycheck 3 was dispersed already between bill money and savings. So, well, mostly just savings. So if we need to pull anything from paycheck 4 to cover this, that's what we'll do. Okay, so lastly for miscellaneous, we have just the sinking fund. So that will be 1113 plus the 1405 plus the $71 equal $96.18. And I just wanted to make sure we didn't need to include any other numbers from this category. So that was taken care of. Oh, I want to add the 156 for unbudgeted. So $96.18 for sinking funds plus the $156 from paycheck 3 for the unbudgeted categories. Totals $252.18. So minus $252 with 18 cents. And I also need to write here, I'm trying to think, where do I want to write it? I guess I'll just write it here, plus 156. And then I'll just do right here, plus 156. Just so the numbers will make sense. All right, so we'll take the, we'll take the $14.39 with 41 cents plus 156 minus the 252 with 18 cents is $1,343 with 23 cents. And that will just be what's remaining in the sinking funds. Because what was added and subtracted basically canceled each other out. I probably could have just wrote the 96.18, but whatever. So let's do some math. So 35.70 plus 415.15 plus 252.18 equals, we spent $703.03 this week. All right, so 2260 was 65 cents plus the 156. So that's what we started with, minus the 703.03. All right, so my checking account is supposed to say $1,713 with 62 cents. And that is what I calculated earlier. I just wrote it on the sticky note in red. So 1713 with 62 cents. That's if I factored in the gas being spent. But what my account really say is 1753 with 22 cents. And that's because the gas money is technically still in there. But if I see that the gas does come out on my credit card, I'll go ahead and make that transfer. That way I don't have to change these numbers. But let's say it doesn't come out and I have the $39 remaining at the end of the month. It will most likely go towards like groceries or something, because we already can see that I'm most likely or definitely going to go over in groceries. So it will still get paid towards the credit card. It's just a matter of for which category. So I just have it marked down for gas for right now, but my account technically has this much in it, but it's supposed to have this much in it. Okay, so that it can match. So long as we're all on the same page, we're all good. And everything is now checked and balanced. And I do apologize for this video being super long. I'm going to try to cut out what I can, just so that it all makes sense and flows. But yeah, so now my budget is all caught up in real time. My account matches the weekly balance for the most part, minus the gas, blah, blah, blah. We already know. And so now I'm happy because now I know where all the money went, how it was spent, when everything finished pending. I'm hoping, like for my credit card, I'm hoping that everything says 0 again, because it's been looking crazy for these last couple of weeks because I was a little laxed on my budget. And I wasn't keeping track like each week. So because week 2 I filmed that right before this video and again today is the 20th, so I had to backtrack for the last 2 weeks, and I'm just happy to have it all squared away now. So that is everything for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye.